Alright you guys, let me show you this updated version of our Supreme King Magicians. I have honestly been really loving exploring this deck and what it can do, and its potential is like limitless. There are so many different ways that you could play this deck. But let me start off with our spellcaster lineup. So we are playing triple of the Supreme King Gate Magician, which is pretty much just your base card that you really want to see. We play one Astrograph, the best normal summon for this deck, triple Skullcrabat Joker, followed up by triple Wisdom Eye Magician. Where's Skullcrabat? Getting blocked there. Then we play two double Iris Magician, one Performer Pal Celestial Magician, one Harmonizing, and then one Performer Pal Pendulum Sorcerer. That's it for our spellcaster lineup. I think that this is like the best spellcaster lineup you could play, pretty much because of these two. So you go ahead, scale, tag out Wisdom Eye for double Iris, tag out this for the Supreme King Gate Infinity or 0, and you've got a 0 and 8 scale. And also, since Skullcrabat can search out all of these except for Astrograph, like it's really insane. Skullcrabat can, hands alone, just search out all of these cards. So that's the spellcaster lineup. We do play a small little dragon lineup for consistency. We play triple Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon because it can search out our Odd Eyes Arc. It can search out our 2 Supreme King Dragon Dark Worms, and then our 1 Supreme King Dragon Light Worm. And then we round it out with the Supreme King Gate 0, like I was saying. I think that this is really good because you don't want to break up too often. And like Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm is good, but you don't want to normal summon it. You'd rather have it in the graveyard. That's why I only play 2. I am contemplating it dropping it down to 1, but we're sticking with 2 right now just to see what it plays like. Moving on to our spells, we play 2 of the Wings of Light. I was playing 3 originally, but I took out the 3rd copy just so I can play 1 copy of Pendulum Evolution. And the reason why I play Pendulum Evolution is so I can get into my Astrograph a lot sooner, or my Supreme King Gate Magician. If I have like 2 copies of spells or of different Pendulum monsters, I can cycle it in. Or if I have a dead Odd Eyes Revolution Dragon, just cycle this bad boy in and get into that. So that's the reason why I play this, and that's why I dropped Wings of Light down to 2. And then for the last bit of traps for the, stay with an archetype, I guess. You play 1 time and 1 soul. So I like the time because it acts as an interruption. My opponent's turn, be able to pop out my double Iris or any other Pendulum spellcasters, Magician spellcasters, sorry. And then soul, the Supreme King. Like pairing these two, my opponent can't target my Supreme King Gate, with leaving it on the board for soul, which is really good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then soul is just really to get into the arc. That's all it's there for. And then again, like we said, we wanted to see Supreme King Dragon Dark Worm engraved, so we do play triple Dragon Shrine. I was playing Dragon Shrine with a Foolish, but I just thought it was unnecessary, so I dropped the Foolish just to play triple Dragon Shrine. And then we play 2 copies of Triple Tax Talent, and we'll call that engraved. Because of the new rarity collection, I think this, my main board at least, is super budget, and like you can totally get this for probably under $20. With the most expensive main deck card is probably going to be your Talents and the Odd Eyes Arc. Those will probably be the 2 that run you the most, because if you get low rarities for everything else, it will be really cheap. Especially since Wings of Light don't cost much. The Supreme King Gate Astrograph Revolutions are like $2. Supreme King Dragon Dark Worms are really low. Dragon Shrine might be the only other. But again, saying that it's budget, because we do play triple copies of Nibiru and triple copies of Ash in the main board. Just because hand traps, I think these are the 2 of the best hand traps in this meta right now, because this really hits Rescue Ace, Unchained. What else is like really prevalent that takes a hit from Nibiru? Pretty much any other deck that we saw in the YCS in Indianapolis, or the most recent YCS that happened. And Richmond, this hits all of that. Ash, really generic, so I mean, it's really great. And we play the talents to either rip or draw, because we like that. And then going second, we can steal our opponent's monster to use as link material, which is quite funny, in my opinion. And then moving on to our extra deck, we will blaze through this because I don't think much has changed since I last played it. We're playing 2 Supreme King Zearks, 1 Odd Eyes Arc Ray. So it took me until today to realize that I've been reading this wrong. That if it's special summon from the extra deck, you can play some pendulum monster from your deck in your pendulum zone. I was reading it as extra deck, so I was like, oh sweet, tribute Supreme King Zeark, and then scale the Zeark. And then I read it more closely, so thankfully I did not do that in a tournament. But, you know, it helps to read your cards sometimes, guys. Then we play 1 Starving Venom Predator Power, and then 1 Odd Eyes Vortex. We play to get in the Vortex package. I've contemplated dropping it a couple times, but it's there for now. Then we play 1 Crystal Clearwing Synchro, 1 Warlord Savage, 1 Supreme King Dragon Clearwing, 1 Odd Eyes Rebellion Xyz, and 1 Odd Eyes Absolute. And 2 Beyond, 1 Xyz, 1 Oppo, and then the last card being our lovely little access code talker to round up our links. I like to play the double Beyond just in case they have the Ash and I have the extender to get into 2. But if not, whatever, we still get Beyond the Pendulum resolving. Always happens. Never had a time where Beyond the Pendulum hasn't resolved. But that's because I'm baiting them with everything else. Moving to our side, so I think this is where things have changed the most. For our side, we are playing 1 Scarlight and then 1 Celine. So Scarlight really just nuke for time. That's all it's there for. Celine, because we do pay life points if you use Revolution and Beyond. So you want to have some sort of recovery, go into Red Dragon Archfiend and just nuke, burn your opponent for time. Cool. Celine. Celine is an opt-in choice to swap out Celine for Celine and Xyz. I'm still trying to play around because I like Xyz, being able to add back scale to my hand and then scale. Especially when I do the whole pendulum graph, you know, the double iris pop to get time and then time set and pop the double iris again. It's the whole reason why I play it. But Celine may come in the side, I don't know, it's just there. Then we're playing our Change of Heart still because it is a really nice flex. And again, for the extra deck, oh yeah, like I said with budget, you know, the most expensive card in this extra deck is going to be the Access Code Talker. If you don't want to play Access Code Talker, sorry, we'll put it at the camera. If you don't want to play Access Code Talker, you can always play something else like Avramax, since we do special summon from the extra deck a lot, and Avramax can and will count Pendulum Monster special summon from the extra deck as its material. So that's a fun fact for you if you didn't know that. But yeah, there's everything else for the extra deck, since, you know, Zark, it has a common, the Odd Eyes Arc Ray is cheap, the Predator Power Fusion, since they got reprinted, is cheap, Vortex is cheap, Crystal Clearwing might run you, but you can always replace this for a Crystal Wing or even a Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Savage got reprinted, so it's cheap. Clearwing's cheap. Beyond's got reprinted, they're cheap. So yeah, there's nothing that's really running you, and you don't have to play, you know, this flex, Change of Heart. You can always play any of the others that got reprinted. Then we followed up with Triple Book of Eclipse, because Book of Eclipse is just really great. Playing Silent Graveyard as an interesting choice, because I can set this and then just discard, you know, Supreme King Dragon Darkworm, or I can discard a dead card in my hand to just kind of shut off the graveyard for my opponent. So this again hits like Tier Limit, Unchained, and any other decks that use the graveyard. This does hinder a little bit Rescue Ace with Preventer. That's about it. And we play Cosmic with Harpy's Duster. Oh, Silent Graveyard also does shut off Labyrinth, which is a good fact to know as well. And these are, again, for Labyrinth, and then we've rounded out with Triple Evenly Match, because Evenly Match is just really great. So that's the side, extra deck, and main deck. So let's do some combo videos, or combo guide, so we can show you some of the cool little combos that this deck does. Alright, so we'll draw starting 5, and honestly, not a bad hand already. So we'll go ahead, scale the Wisdom, scale the Supreme King Gate. We'll go Wisdom Eye first. You'll always want to remember that, to go Wisdom Eye first, scaling the Double Iris. Then we'll go ahead and use the Supreme King Gate to destroy itself. Man, I really wish Astrograph was at 3, because, oh man, I would definitely play Astrograph at 3 the amount of times that you pop cards in this run. So unfortunately we don't get that, but I mean, we go here, special, whoops, wait, pen, right? And then we can go Gate Magician. Since we already have the soul, what we're going to grab instead, I wish this one was, wait, you may be able to grab that one. That one's card that mentions a reading start from the back of your hand. Yeah, you could grab Pendulum Evolution. But looking at my hand, we don't have anything to shuffle in for Pendulum Evolution. And if we did, we would want to grab Skullcrabat. But we'll just grab Wings of Light. And here is the reason why. Because then we'll go Wings of Light. And we're going to search out, since we have not normal summoned, we'll go ahead and grab our Supreme King Dragon Darkworm. Then proceed to normal summon our Supreme King Dragon Darkworm to grab a second copy of our Supreme King Gate Magician. And since we haven't used its first ability, we can use that here to send our Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. So I always avoid sending any of the others because they are darks and they can be targets for, shoot, what are those cards? The Bestials. So I try and avoid that as much as I can. But if you can't, totally fine, totally understandable. We'll overlay these two for Absolute. And then the funny fun happens here, where we'll go ahead and use all 3 for Exceed. Then we can trigger off as Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Exceed will go ahead and grab us back. We'll grab Supreme King Gate Magician, and then Absolute. We'll go ahead and special out our Vortex. Then we can use our Exceed. We'll bring back Supreme King Gate Magician. And then we just go ahead, set 1, and we pass turn. Honestly, not the greatest end board, but we still have, so we can go during our opponent's turn, Exceed to special back our Arc, and this is again to avoid Bestials. And then we do have the Ash in hand. We've got Vortex to shuffle back, and we can shuffle back whatever we deem fit. Then we've got Soul, the Tribute, to just nuke our opponent. So it's not terrible, but I mean that only ends us on 1, I guess kind of 2, 3, 4 interruptions, which is pretty standard for this build, because it likes to play with interactions, and I like to play with interactions rather than be a complete blowout. But let's show just kind of another going first hand here. So we'll just reset the board. Alright, so board reset. We'll draw our starting 4. Or starting 5, sorry. So this is where it gets really cool. We can go ahead, activate Beyond, go beyond the evolution. Go ahead and shuffle back our Supreme King Dragon Darkworm to grab ourselves Supreme King Gate Magician. And then we can trigger off Wings of Light to grab another copy of Supreme King Gate Magician. This is probably one of my favorite lines to do, because then we can scale the Supreme King Gate, destroy itself, put our gate 0, and honestly it follows kind of along the same line of play. We'll just go ahead and activate, sending, special effect. We'll go ahead and grab again Soul. So you can use your Ash here to normal summon and go into Beyond. I don't like to, but kind of have no other choice. Going to beyond, go beyond. We'll search out double iris. Normally I've never had a hand where it's hand trap galore. We'll scale, hand out 2. Fortunately, we don't get to go beyond to pop double iris search, but it's fine. And then we can just go here for Exceed. And then Exceed effect will trigger to grab Supreme Key Gate. And you could special it out, but we'll just go ahead and set. We'll have follow up. So not another great hand either, but it's playable. You end at least with the board wipe. But there is more that this deck can do. So let me rig the hand here and show you what exactly we can do. So we're just going to show you a 2-card combo with Dragon Shrine and Skull Cravat. So you'll go Dragon Shrine, effect. We're going to go ahead and send Supreme King Dragon Darkworm to grave. Then we'll activate the Darkworm, the special, and then its effect on summon. We'll grab the Gate. Then we'll normal out Skull Cravat, go to Skull Cravat effect. We'll grab a second copy of Gate. So you always want to somehow get into 2 copies of Gate, because then you'll go scale 1, activate its effect to destroy itself, and go ahead and scale the Supreme King Gate 0. And then we can go the other copy in our hand, sending to special, then trigger its effect. And we're always going to go ahead and search Soul of the Celestial Supreme King, or Soul of the Supreme Celestial King. And then so you always want to go, it doesn't matter what you do, but you always want to make sure that you've got 2 zones available for Beyond. And Beyond is always going to search you, and again, unless you've got more cards in hand, you'll always search double iris. If you don't have the double, if you have the double iris, you can search out Harmonizing, the 1 copy of Celestial Magician, or the 1 copy of Pendulum Sorcerer. Then we'll scale here. We'll go ahead and hand out 2. 1, 2. Go effect. We're going to pop these 2. That'll then trigger off double iris to search out Time Pendulum Graph. Then we'll go ahead and use these 2 guys. Whoops, I always do this, to link off into our Exceed. We'll activate Exceed to grab back our double iris position, scale it, set 2, and then link for Apollosa. And that is again with just 2 cards. So you end on 2 negate Apollosa, board wipe, Time Pendulum Graph, the Soul. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions again, but you at least have better interactions with just 2 cards. So that's it for this kind of combo tutorial, showing off the updated version and, thankfully enough, a budget deck, which is really great because the rarity collection again just helps you get cards for this that kind of put it over the top. Again, if you're not wanting to play the access code, there are definitely other options you can play. This deck can in fact play without access code. It is just a flex spot, and it is a good flex spot to have actually, because you can fill it with many other things. So that is it, everyone. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, share with your friends. And if you want more content like this, we will be back to doing our local diaries. Apologize for missing the last couple. Had some events come up that needed my attention, but we are back and we're ready to bring you more pendulum shenanigans as we are cooking, like I said, Exodia. So we're hoping to pilot that this week. So stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one. So we'll pass it over to you, Duelist.